We are very lucky to have Marie Dunnion with us today. She is a regular pilgrim to Glastonbury and she is also a professional psychologist. So she's written a lovely poem about the tour and today she's agreed to be in conversation. So thank you for coming.
No
Lovely, lovely
problem.
hot sunny day we're having.
Very hot, yeah, we're melting.
So can I begin with asking, what is your connection, Murray, to Glastonbury or Avalon, as it's known?
Well, I guess my connection is, like you've just said, I come here quite regularly. I really enjoy the tour at St Michael's Tower and everything it has to offer. I suspect Glastonbury knows more about what my connection to it is than I know. It's unravelling. But yeah, I just really enjoy coming here. I've been visiting for the last few years. So it's not like a connection that goes way, way back, but I certainly feel that sort of sense of my soul being called here, as I think many do.
Lovely answer. And how did you first hear about the World Heritage Status proposal?
Well, it was really interesting actually, because I had a friend, and obviously she knows that I come here and she comes here a lot herself. And she sent me the petition that you'd started. So obviously signed that. And then I don't know if it referred to it, but it might have been a video link. So I had a look and I think it was a recording of the consultation or the start of it. And then I think it must have been when I was here in January when I bumped into you, and then I heard a bit more about it, and you were asking what I thought of it, and you were in the town, weren't you, promoting it and letting people know what was going on.
Lovely. And do you know of any other sites worldwide that have World Heritage Status that you've noticed?
I didn't know that it had, but I've noticed since, obviously through this, that Avebury is World Heritage Status, and I went to see the Norwegian fjords in yeah, I never know quite how to say it, in March. And it was interesting because Bergen has that World Heritage status, or UNESCO certainly, but that's of a much huger expanse than Glastonbury itself would be.
Did you notice anything there when you
Um,
saw it?
I mean, it was Easter weekend, so it would have been quieter, and obviously I was keeping a bit of an eye out. I mean, I guess there was a lot going on in terms of organised tours and buses, but like I say, there was a lot more space. It was a
Mm.
almost like one of our big cities here, so it could perhaps accommodate that more. Um, so I don't know how comparable it was.
Yes, but that was your
Mm.
experience. And what do you think the impact of World Heritage Status would be on Glastonbury or Avalon?
I mean, obviously at the moment we have to speculate, don't we? Because we
Mm,
don't exactly know what the plans are. And the reason why I kept mentioning the size of Bergen is that it seemed to me like it was a big city. It probably could take quite a number of buses and tourists. Whereas
mm,
Glastonbury, in comparison, I often think um, through the festival and things that people imagine that perhaps it's a huge place, but essentially it's like these two streets, isn't it? And the roads aren't that wide. So I think it would have a huge impact on the infrastructure, on accommodating any big coaches, any big tours, the impact it would have on access to the tour itself. I
mm.
think, we've queried whether you'd have to pay to get in. That would obviously impact because you have to weigh that up when making a decision to come somewhere, don't you?
And certainly with our recent visit to Stonehenge, it would
Mm.
it's flagged up some, some problems with that kind of thing,
Well, that's what I
possible
wonder.
things. Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
That's what I wonder if, because it's quite small here and it would be difficult to accommodate all of the traffic, would it then become similar to Stonehenge in that you'd have to
Mm,
get on a bus
mm,
maybe a mile or so out of town to come in on one of the time tours? You'd have your ticket. Like I say, I'm only speculating, but of course, I think that's what we need to query, isn't it? Is
Park and ride, maybe.
mm,
There's all these question marks, aren't there? So, what are your greatest fears about World Heritage Status? You've touched upon those already. Do you have anything in particular that stands out as your greatest one or fears about it?
I think thinking about, it's that word fear, isn't it? So I'll probably not
Mm,
talk about fears,
mm,
but sort of worries,
mm,
in that if it did become something which was monetized, that then obviously that always limits the amount of times that you come here. Whereas I think what's wonderful at the moment is you've got that freedom. If you want to climb the tour and stay for an hour, you do that. If people want to go up to the top and have a picnic or have a drink for a few hours, they do that.
yeah.
If you've got your children, you can come here. You don't have to think, oh, it's going to cost the best part of £50, and oh, well, we need extra money for a gift shop, or
Mm,
it's something that's free and it's enjoyable. And we're always hearing about the cost of living crisis, aren't we?
mm,
So it's
mm,
lovely to be able to access such a beautiful space in the countryside, but also that sacred site, as you've often pointed out, it is a sacred site. Many
mm,
believe it's the heart chakra of the world. And I think one of my worries is that when you take something and you make it commercial and you sort of put it in that mold, how that will impact on people's spiritual relationship to the
mm,
tour.
mm,
You mentioned that I was a psychologist, and something that came to mind when I was thinking about this interview today was there's something called the internal locus of control versus the external locus of control. And I was thinking about how that maps on to how people plan a trip to somewhere like the tour. And if you have an internal locus of control and you're a spiritual pilgrim, you can think you want to go there for your own personal reasons, and there's no gatekeeper. You can
mm,
come, you can have that freedom to take that pilgrimage in whatever way you wish, whether it's by foot, by bike, by car, stay as long as you want, freely meet the other souls that you wander across along the way. But with an external locus of control, that's often when someone external to yourself is organising something. So it's a bit like package holidays. If you get
mm,
these package tours, do you then get that internal locus of control taken away so that you're being herded? Like I
mm.
seen with you being shepherded at
Yeah,
Stonehenge,
yeah.
that actually you've got it timed, you've got your ticket, you've got to get on the bus, you've got to stand in this position and you
Mm,
can't get near, and it's all policed. And then
mm.
in losing your internal locus of control, do you then lose that very personal relationship with that sacred site?
It's a very good point. Very good point.
Hmm.
And so it'd be a lot more regimented, and you'd actually have that sort of that feeling of freedom, sovereignty taken away, wouldn't
Mm.
you? So, would there be any benefits at all that you can see?
I mean, yes, potentially. The problem is we don't know what the plan is to identify the
Mm,
benefits. I
mm,
guess people could say, or maybe there'd be more facilities, there'd be toilets, there'd be a place you could buy a drink and food.
mm,
But actually, if you organise yourself before you come here, you can actually, make sure you bring your cool bag and your picnic and so forth. And I often find in life that certain of the things that are benefits, like for instance, the internet, what they give, a lot can also be taken away as well. So it's that cost benefit analysis, pros and cons.
And so, why do you believe that it should be stopped now, in this point in time?
I think that it would be nice to press the stop button, and just like we've said, get that transparency. I
Mm,
think you interviewed someone who's a project manager, and they were saying, they made a very good point, I thought, is that ordinarily you'd have it identified as to what the reason is for the plans, like what's the rationale,
mm,
what is
mm,
wrong with
mm,
how things are now,
mm.
that and how is World Heritage Status going to address that? So
Yeah.
perhaps having that true sense of collaboration and consultation with the town, because
Yeah.
obviously everyone's got their opinion, but
Mm, mm.
um, it's hard to really know what the plan is.
And no public consultation's been done, and
Mm.
no needs assessment either. So that's a really good point you make there. Well, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you, and
Thank
I
you
look
for
forward to seeing your future interviews.
thank you, Marie.